Well, you've seen it, the Democratic defection, Democratic lawmakers starting to turn against Obamacare. So why the mild rebellion? Are Democrats beginning to panic? Charles Krauthammer joins us. Charles, on Obamacare first, before we get to Iran, I wanted to ask you if there's anything that you've seen that makes you think that the Obama team is going to be able to meet the deadline November 30th that they've imposed on themselves, and if they can turn around the overall collapse of confidence in the country.
Well, it would have to be something of a miracle. They'd have to get the website working at Amazon-like levels, which I think is extremely improbable. If it's simply there's an increase in the number of people who can actually get on, that's not going to do much. I'm not sure how the press will treat it, how the mainstream media will. But if a week from today it's still as staggering as it is now, it'll be a terrible strike against the administration. It will mean that every time they make a promise, it's going to be okay, it's just around the corner, there's something else around the corner.
Are they already starting to feel the effects of what you just described? Because in poll after poll in the last 10 days to 2 weeks, the trust in the president himself, they still say that they like him, but the belief that he is competent to run the government and right. To the extent that they have trust in him has taken a real hit. Will that affect everything else they try to do?
Absolutely. It poisons everything else they try to do. I mean, you are right. What has sustained the president through a lot of policy failures in these 5 years is the fact that people like him and trust him and think that he intends well. But he told a whopper. I mean, he really, when he said, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan. And then he added the fatal word, period. Never punctuate an untruth. And once he said period, that meant no excuses, no caveats, no curlicues, this is the truth. And then when he's caught on that, he gave excuses, caveats, curlicues, fine print. And when people hear that from a president, what that does to Obama, Obama is a different kind of politician. He's a charismatic politician. He came in on a cloud. He came in out of nowhere. He came in on great speeches and rhetoric. And once the rhetoric fails, once people hear it and don't trust it, everything else disappears.
Do you think that's why, switching to the other topic I wanted to ask about, which is the deal with the UN Security Council regarding Iran and nuclear weapons, do you think that the reaction, which was decidedly mixed, and I know that you were quite critical of the deal that they reached, is there anything that you've seen that makes you think that maybe you missed something, that maybe this is actually a good deal, or is the trust factor for the president a real liability in this as well?
Look, in fact, the more I look into the details, the worse it is, and every time, the more I hear what the administration officials are saying in defending this, the more I see deception. I mean, I heard the Secretary of State say that they are going to destroy their highly enriched uranium. That is simply false. They're simply going to turn it into a chemical oxide, which the administration is not telling you can be chemically reversed at will. So they are not removing or destroying or shipping abroad their highly enriched uranium from which you make a bomb. They're simply turning it into another chemical, disabling it temporarily, but have complete control over how and when they can reverse it. So whenever I hear their explanations now, trying to explain all the giveaways in this and how little, in fact nothing, of any structural importance they got in stopping the nuclear program, I think it increases the problem of how credible anything they say is.
What do you think about the timing? You know, I'm not the biggest conspiracy theorist, but they have been certainly having a tough time at the White House politically because of Obama healthcare. Looking to this deal, do you think they were in too much of a hurry to get something done, or did they think that they got the best deal that they could?
They clearly were in a hurry. They probably would have gotten here with or without the collapse of Obamacare, but it sure gave them an extra incentive to get in a hurry, because if they need any distraction possible for a government in collapse over its central achievement, Obamacare, is a good thing. So they want the distraction. They think that, you know, people aren't going to spend a lot of time on the details of this the way the policy wonks have to, because that's what they do for a living. So I think that is one of the reasons behind it. But I do think it's part of a larger program, which is the administration wants to show something on Iran. They don't quite understand how naive all of this is, how this was tried with North Korea. We know it's a disaster. We know it's not going to work. But they want to at least show that they're making some progress. And Obama is now declaring a kind of new age with Iran. I'm afraid this new age is going to be one that we are going to regret having achieved.
All right, Charles, author of the bestseller, Things That Matter. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, Dana. Thank you.
This has been a Sunfish production.